My name's Max Keller, 32nd. I used to pour beers at a grimy little bar in Kreuzberg until the owner vanished overnight and the creditors padlocked the place shut. Now I spend my nights in the guard booth of a rotting 5-story tenement on Oranienburg Street, Mit. Built in 1898, red brick now stained black with a century of soot. Hallways that stretch like open graves the deeper you walk. The smell of wet stone and ancient mold works its way into your skull and stays there. Some Swedish investment fund bought the building cheap, waiting for demolition permits so they can slap up a boutique hotel. Permits keep stalling. All they need is to warm bodies for night shifts, cash under the table, no contracts. No questions. Perfect for someone drowning in debt like me. The shift runs 10p. To 6 Job description: sit on your ass. Walk the building once an hour, and chase out junkies trying to crash for the night. The first 3 weeks warp your boredom. Just the wind screaming through broken windows. Water dripping from ruptured pipes. And that's our reek in the walls like they'd been absorbing human despair since Wilhelm was Kaiser. Lucas. The other guard, Turkish guy, 6'5", shaved head. Like to joke the place used to be an SS brothel. I laughed, but every time I passed the 4th floor pitch black. Every light smashed. Only the dull reedy XIT sign bleeding into the dark cold fingers crawled up my spine. Still, nothing happened until week 4. One night, around 1. We're smoking in the booth when it starts. Hard-soled shoes walking slow and deliberate somewhere above us. Clack, 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 like dress boots on concrete. Lucas says rats. I say rats don't wear size 13 Oxfords. The footsteps stop the second we both go quiet. Dead silence. We look at each other. Force out a laugh. Blame the heating ducts. A couple nights later, Lucas runs up to the 5th floor to grab a jacket he forgot. 10 minutes pass. He comes barreling down the stairs, face the color of old paper, staring at the ceiling like it's about to collapse on him. He says, there was a guy at the end of the hall. Tall, black overcoat down to his ankles. I called out nothing. I walked toward him and all that's there is the coat hanging on 5 CS doorknob. Still warm. I tell him HES over tighter. He curses under his breath and drops it. But after that, both of us avoid the 4th and 5th floors like they're radioactive. Then the knocking starts from 4B, the sealed apartment where some poor bastard hanged himself last year. 3 slow knocks. Always 3. We pretend we don't hear it. Until the night Lucas has to rush home. His grandmother had a stroke. Him alone. 217. I'm half asleep in front of the monitors when the north stairwell cam flickers. Under the dying bulb stands a figure. Head bowed. Arms limp at his sides. Long black coat. Face swallowed in shadow. That ice water sensation washes over me. Like HES staring straight into the lens even though I can't see eyes. I grab the walkie and shout, "Get the fuck out of the building." No response. I zoom in. Still no face, just a hollow darkness where one should be. Then he lifts his head. Slow. Too slow. The screen erupts into static. When it clears, HES gone. I grab my flashlight and the only weapon we're allowed. A heavy slingshot. In charge upstairs. Every step I take, another step answers from the roof faster like something running upward into nothing. 5th floor. Empty. Just that same black coat swaying on the knob of 5C. No breeze. No open window. I stumble back to the booth, hard trying to punch through my ribs. 9. 3rd floor corridor cam. HES there again. Closer this time. The coat is dripping wet even though it has trained in weeks. Water pools behind him, spreading across the floor. He glides toward the lens. Slow. Steady. Stops 3 feet away. Raises one bone white hand. Knock, knock, knock. At that exact moment, 3 knocks erupt right behind my neck. I whirl around, Nothing. Empty chair. Locked window. I bolt outside and call the cops. Police sweep the building top to bottom. They find the soaked coat in 5C and a scrap of fabric sewn inside the lining. Letters smeared in red. YOUBELONGTOMENOW. They say it's some sicko. Promise extra patrols, then forget about it. But he keeps coming back. Every night at 3:09, he appears on a different camera, closer each time. The night Lucas finally returns turns out to be our last shift. We step into the third-floor hallway to start our rounds, and every single light dies at once. Darkness swallows everything. Metal screams somewhere behind us, like a cleaver dragged across concrete. Then a voice, wet and guttural, rising from the drains beneath our feet. YOUVEWAITESOLONG. NOWYOUBLONGTOMEFOREVR. We turn. For the first time, I see his face. There is no face, just a raw black pit, two milky eyes leaking tar. He raises one arm, a rusted butcher's cleaver almost 2 feet long. We run. He doesn't. He glides, coat scraping the floor with the wet sound of skin being peeled. We reach the lobby, slam the steel gate. Call the SCK tactical unit. When they kick down the door of 5C, they find him sitting cross-legged in the center of the room, surrounded by dozens of swollen industrial trash bags tied tight. He calmly raises his hands to be cuffed. Name Torben Voss, 47. No priors. No family. Nobody ever reported him missing. In his pockets, 8 vials of horse-grade ketamine. A rolled plastic tarp, 14 trash bags, and a leather-bound notebook. Inside the notebook, a list of every night guard who's worked this building since 2019. My name and Lucas S. are underlined in red. Beneath the list, one line. The last one's finally complete. He only said one thing to the police. I had to finish the collection before they tear the place down. The others are part of the walls now. No one will ever find them. Renovation permit denied the next week. Building condemned. Some nights, people walking down a Rainyager Street race still swear they see a weak yellow light on the 5th floor and a tall figure in a long black coat standing perfectly still at the window. I never worked another night shift. Lucas moved back to Turkey to stay with relatives. Me, I cross the street if I have to walk past that block even in daylight, eyes glued to the pavement, because I know he didn't stay locked up. Last month, there was a tiny article about a prisoner who vanished during transfer. They didn't print the name, but I know whose it was, and I know he is still there. He was there long before the building had a number. He'll be there long after the city crumbles to dust. Sometimes in the dead of night, I still wake to 3 knocks right behind my head. Knock, knock, knock. My name is Dana Ruiz, 19 years old, freshman at the University of Arizona. Well, used to be. Summer of 1998, the money dried up, so I dropped out for a semester and crawled back to Tucson to live with my mom. To scrape together enough for next term's tuition, I took the graveyard shift at the Shell station at mile marker 187 on Route 40 for 18 miles of creosote, rattlesnakes, and absolute nothing from the city limits. Days were a furnace. Nights dropped so cold your teeth ached. 10p. 26 Just me, 2 grainy security cameras, and a slab of bulletproof glass the owner bragged could stop a 40 from Magnum point blank. The job was brain dead easy. Customers were mostly long-haul truckers, night fishermen, and the occasional couple who needed condoms and a place dark enough to hide their shame. Most shifts were so dead I kept the radio cranked up just to stay conscious. Nothing never happened. I honestly believed nothing ever could. Then came the night of July 14. It was brutally hot, still 99 degrees at midnight. I was wiping dust off the cigarette racks when I heard an engine slow to a crawl outside. Headlights from a beat-up Silverford pickup slid across the windows, then died in the one corner of the lot the main camera couldn't catch. Probably drunk, I figured. I hit the intercom automatically. "We're open. Come on in." No answer. Driver's door creaked open. A man stepped out. Tall, rail-thin, dark blue plaid shirt, faded jeans. From a distance he just looked tired, swaying like he'd been half asleep at the wheel. I waited. He stopped in the center of the concrete pad, lifted his head, stared straight at me through the glass. The neon purple-pink glow from the Shell sign washed over him, making him look embalmed. That's when I saw it. His shirt was drenched, thick. Dark blood streamed from both sleeves, running off his fingertips, hitting the pavement in steady drops. Plink. 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 Fresh. Glossy under the floodlights. My whole body froze. He started walking toward the store, each step leaving a perfect bloody print behind him. I slammed the door lock button, hands shaking so hard I almost missed it, and yanked the steel security curtain down halfway so I could still see out. Through the gap, his face came into view. Skin chalk white, eyes milky, pupils pinprick, mouth stretched into a silent, unnatural grin. He pressed against the glass. Both bloody palms smeared long weed streaks across it. Then he spoke, voice like wet gravel, loud enough to cut straight through the bulletproof flare. "She said you'd be here alone, Pump 7. I didn't have time to wonder who she was. My hand flew to the phone, punched 911th. The second the dispatcher picked up, I screamed the address. Right as a sledgehammer slammed into the glass. First hit Spitterbear cracks. Second hit. The whole pane detonated inward in a glittering avalanche. Shards sliced my forearms like razors. A red arm pushed through the jagged hole, groping for the inside latch. I screamed, grabbed the tall cigarette display, and toppled it over the opening like a barricade. Then I dove behind the counter and crawled under the register, hugging my knees, trying not to hyperventilate. On the tiny monitor I watched him vault the counter in one smooth, horrifying motion, blood raining off him like a broken showerhead. He moved slowly, almost lazily, scanning the aisles like he was browsing for snacks. Then he stopped dead center, tilted his head up, and stared straight into the ceiling camera. Eyes white as bone, mouth split open in a crimson grin. Just need one more for the circle. I almost vomited. 2 minutes felt more like 20 later. I heard sirens screaming closer. He cocked his head, listening. The grin evaporated. He spun and bolted out the back door, disappearing into the dark desert like he'd been swallowed by it. Cops found him 400 yards out, kneeling in the dirt road, arms raised to the stars, muttering in a language nobody recognized. In the bed of the pickup, a young woman, throat cut ear to ear, wrapped in a child's pink sleeping bag. Next to her, her 8-year-old brother. Same treatment. A blood-encrusted buck 110 hunting knife. And a folded Arizona road map with 7 red circles around 7 lonely gas stations on Route 44. Mine was number 7, marked with a careful, deliberate pentagram. His name was Leonard Draco Yates, 34, AC repairman from Phoenix. 2 failed stints in meth rehab. During questioning, he only said one thing, over and over. If I finished the 7 points, she'll come back. He never said who she was. He died in prison in 2013. Liver failure. I moved in with my mom permanently and never drove Route 40 for after dark again. But there's one detail I never told the cops, never told my mom. Barely let myself remember. 15 minutes before that pickup ever pulled in, the radio was playing Wicked Game by Chris Isaak, right at the chorus. No, I don't want to fall in love, nobody loves no one. The speakers erupted in static. Then, clear as someone breathing against my neck, A woman's voice whispered. Punk 7. AGS coming for you. I spun around. Nothing. Just me in four walls of glass. I don't know if the heat and exhaustion made me hallucinate, or if it was real. But to this day, if that song starts playing, in a supermarket, coffee shop, passing car, I kill it instantly or walk out. And I will die of thirst or push my car on bare feet before I ever stop at anything numbered 7 again. Pump 7, exit 7, gate 7, it doesn't matter. Because one of these nights I'm terrified that voice is going to whisper in my ear one more time. My name's Travis Hale, 22 years old. Got kicked out of the University of Oklahoma after I put some frat kid in the hospital. Now I work nights at the Arby's off I-35. Exit 170 from middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. Just the restaurant. A dying truck stop, and a roach-ridden motel half a mile down. After 11 p. Doctor through only. Customers are either half-dead truckers or drunk teens hunting curly fries. Most nights are so quiet you can hear your heartbeat thumping in your ears. February 9th, 2020, 19 degrees. Wind howling straight out of the north. Snow slicing sideways across the lot. The cheap wind chimes by the lobby door sounded like ghost kids crying in the dark. I was alone in the kitchen, still freezing inside a Carhartt jacket. From 11 to 1, not a single car. I was already counting minutes till I could lock up early. 1:40. The drive-through sensor dings. I glance at the grainy monitor, a beat-to-hell silver Dodge Grand Caravan. No front plate. Windows pitch black, creeping toward the speaker like it's stalking prey. It stops. 30 seconds of dead air. Then a voice rasps through the headset low, slow, deliberate. 6 roast beef classics. No bun. Extra horsey sauce on the side. And 6 large curly fries. I punch the order in. $50 for $80. Read it back. All I get is a slow, satisfied hum. The van drifts to the first window. I slide the glass open. Inside the van is just darkness. Drivers in a knit cap pulled low. Surgical mask up to the eyes. Only a thin strip of skin visible. He hands me a fistful of wet bills, coins clinging together. Melted snow mixing with this sweet rotten smell. Like spoiled meat trotting in the sun. I counted through food service gloves, my hands are shaking from the cold. I come up 18 cents over. I look up to return the change, but he just lifts one finger. Keep it. Then quiet and clear. You alone tonight, Travis? I freeze. I haven't worn my name tag in weeks. It's still lost somewhere in the walk-in freezer. My brain short circuits. I force a laugh. Nah, man. My buddy's in the back frying potatoes. Total lie. And the only soul on the property. He nods slow. Like that detail matters. I bag 6 stacks of rare roast beef, no buns. 6 tubs of horsey sauce. Slide the tray out. He lowers the passenger window to grab it. The smell that rolls out almost knocks me flat. Raw meat left in a hot trunk for days. Coppery and wet and drawn. I catch a glimpse of the back seat. A wall of black trash bags piled high. Corners jutting like broken elbows and knees before the darkness swallows it again. He stares at me a second too long. Then rolls forward, circles the building, and parks in the one spot the cameras barely reach. Lights off. Engine off. I stand there, heart pounding, trying to convince myself it's nothing. But the stink still clings to my nose. And there's a faint red smear on my glove came from his money. Tatena. And the sensor dings again. Same van. But it never moved from that dark corner. It's still parked 100 yards away. The speaker crackles anyway. Voice rougher now. Forgot something. 6 more roast beef. No bun. And 1 chocolate turnover. My stomach drops. The The spoon slips out of my hand. I stammer into the mic. Sir, you gotta pull up to the window to pay. Silence. Then wet. Drowning laughter. Thick. Phlegm. Why? We already paid. Travis. I slam every hydraulic lock. Kill the outside lights. Leave only the kitchen fluorescents buzzing overhead. I call 911 with shaking fingers. Whisper yelling, there's somebody out there, please. Send someone now. While I'm on hold, I stare at the monitors. The van has moved, but the camera aimed at the order speaker. The one that should be empty shows a tall figure in the knick-cap and mask standing inches from the lens. Head tilted, staring straight into the store like he can see me through the screen. I scream, drop the phone. 11 minutes later, 2 county deputies roll in. Lights painting the snow red and blue. They clear the building, then the van. Doors unlocked. Empty. Backseat trash bag slashed open. Raw roast beef arranged on the floorboards. Perfect outline of a human body. Torso. Arms. Legs. Head. 2 slices of white onion for eyes. On the driver's seat. My receipt from earlier. Smeared over in dried horsey sauce. 6 roast beef, no bun for the passenger. Underneath, same dried streaks. Next time don't lie when we ask how many. See you on your last night, Travis. I quit the next morning. Manager. Face Gray told me they'd been losing 6-12 portions of raw roast beef from the walk-in every few weeks. No break-ins. No footprints. Just gone. A couple night shift kids before me heard the same whispered question, you alone tonight? And walked out mid-shift. Nobody ever got hurt. They just wanted the meat. Police never found the van. I moved to Oklahoma City, took a warehouse job at UPS, swore off night shifts forever. But every time I have to pass exit 174 after dark. And sometimes I still do. I see it in the rearview mirror, silver Grand Caravan. No plates. Headlights off. Riding my bumper just long enough for me to recognize it. Then, right when my foot hits the gas, it kills the lights and disappears. I know it's waiting. Waiting for the night I'm really alone again. Waiting for the night I answer honestly when it asks. You alone tonight, Travis? Next time it won't want roast beef. It'll want me, so the passenger in the back is finally complete.